DD214 Network Podcast is for mature audiences only. Any videos, music, or entertainment not originating from DD214 Network is used and covered under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, also known as fair use. Opinions expressed are our own and do not represent any DoD or U.S. government entities as a whole. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. You are no longer alone now because we have you.
What's going on?
Morning, everybody.
How's everybody feeling today?
See you guys. How are you guys doing today?
Fantastic. I'm about to have soup for breakfast, which I'm super excited about.
Soup. What kind? Soup for? Okay. What kind of soup are you having for breakfast, dude?
So we're having Lipton's.
Okay.
You know, we got 2 ice cubes in it, so we're ready to go for the day.
All right.
Feeling good. You know, I'm ready, man. I'm feeling ready.
You know what I haven't had in a while? It's one of my favorite soups, and I had it at a restaurant recently, but it wasn't like the greatest. And I haven't had a good French onion soup.
Yes.
Where they have like that fucking cheese over the top of it. You know what I mean? And you and then you put the cheese inside the soup, and the soup's so fucking hot it melts the cheese. And then there's like that piece of fucking.
Oh yeah.
And there's like that, and there's that piece of fucking rye bread at the bottom. So like you dip your spoon in and you get like a little melty cheese, a little bit of soup, and a little bit of rye bread on like every bite.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking God, dude.
So
Onion soup, dude.
I love French onion soup. Growing up, we always like at least once a week during this time of year, fall going into winter, my mom would fucking make it. And Italian household, she made homemade fucking bread. So she would use her homemade bread in it.
Okay.
Oh, and the French onion soup we used wasn't none of that condensed canned Campbell's crap.
Right.
Fully made from scratch. Everything fucking, you know.
Campbell's is fucking delicious, though.
I haven't had Campbell's is good.
It can be, and you have to search for it now because they changed some of their. Yeah, they got way too. They got like like everything else. They got like super corporate. You know what I mean? And like some of the recipes changed. So like some of the soups are still really really good and can like hit the spot, in a moment, you know what I mean? But
Campbell's cream of chicken is still really good.
Agree. And it's great for fucking recipes too. It's great for fucking recipes. Yeah.
Well, any of those cream soups, whether it's cream of chicken, cream of broccoli, cream of fucking mushroom, all of those things you use in fucking other cooking areas.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we make many different dishes that use the cream of chicken.
So yeah.
Good choices are good choices.
How was your guys' week? How was your guys' week?
Did you guys make any good choices this week?
I mean, I worked yesterday, but it wasn't real. It was college softball tournament, so it was pretty easy and very extremely like lax and low key. It was they have a place called the Urban Youth League here in Kansas City. It's in the closer to downtown, like and it's actually very close to the Negro Leagues Museum.
Oh,
and so like there's some softball fields and youth sports fields basically.
Yeah,
and they had a college tournament going on this weekend. So I got to see the Arkansas Razorbacks. I got to see the Nebraska Cornhuskers. I got to see the Roos from the University of Missouri Kansas City, and there was South Dakota State University. So I got to see all 4 of those softball teams play kind of an off season. This is obviously off season for college softball, but I got to see them play an off season tournament. So good for them. It looked like everybody had a good time. Weather was perfect. Not exactly Roadhouse material, haha. You know what I mean? Like not exactly typical J Roadhouse material, but
it wasn't there. It just wasn't golden enough.
Dude, it was what I call free money. You know what I mean? It's like I take my jobs very seriously when I work, but there are certain shifts that I'll work or that I'll take where it's like I am basically just paid to be present. I'm there to be a presence. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing to it. Open your bag. Let me see to the bottom of it. Done. Like I'm not kicking anybody out. Like it's not that kind of an event. There was no drinking there. It was all parents and family of these traveling softball teams. Basically, a lot of people here from Nebraska. A lot of people here from Arkansas. Obviously, actually had I'd say a fairly sizable element, and good for them. For the ones from South Dakota State University. Excuse me. And so they even had a traveling element of family members that made it out. So it's like, yeah, like it was a good time. But yeah, from a security standpoint, I just had to stand there for 8 hours. And that was like, that's free money. You know what I'm saying?
Stand there and watch kids play softball.
Yeah.
That's like, make sure. Yeah. Like that's like, we chilled. Like it was great, fun, afternoon or in day. There was nothing, but perfect weather. The weather was what made it nice. It was pleasantly cool yesterday morning finally. So like the summer's finally starting to like tuck itself away and run. It was pleasantly cool in the morning. It warmed up a little bit about noon. And then right about the time it started getting maybe a little too warm, if you sat straight in the sun, we had shadows behind us from the building. So we just like scooted back into the shadow and like that was it. And then we were off. So it was like easy money.
Yeah.
Easy money. What about you guys?
So earlier this week for me, last week after we shot, directly after we shot our last episode, if you guys had noticed, halfway through the episode, had visitors come in, and that was actually Gio. And we went to shoot some stuff last week, and we went to shoot some XVPW, some podcasts and stuff. But the interesting thing when we were shooting the virtual wrestling stuff is that we were shooting in an MTA entrance. Okay. And just having that experience alone was super cool. Doing what's he saying? Tropic Thunder on location.
On location. On location.
On location, and just to be on location doing the shoot without having green screens, that using practical props and practical effects to get the job done was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
And then on Friday, it was, as a parent, it was my wife and I's first time sending off our daughter overnight for Girl Scouts.
Okay. How'd that go?
So it was the first time we ever sent a kid away that wasn't a part of the family. So it was, the anxiety was there. We were, freaking out the whole time. And, my daughter, as you know, from experience, Jay, my daughter is the energetic one.
Yeah. Very high energy. She's so bubbly. Like, she's
what's going on, Brandon?
She's gonna rock the world someday, dude. Like you can already see it. She's got a beautiful personality.
It was so damn quiet in this house, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is creepy!" Like, I want my daughter back, and she was gone for like 36 hours, man. And that was kind of, I've never experienced that before, being away from my kids, but doing something that didn't involve a family member. So it was just like I was filled with anxiety, man. Also, got to play. What did I play? I played the Crew Motorfest. If you want my honest opinion, it's a copy and paste of Forza Horizon 5. It's exactly the same. It's kind of a little more arcadey, which I do enjoy in the racing game. So that was good, and got to watch this fantastic movie called Riders of Justice with Mads Mikkelsen.
Okay.
And I'm not going to get into obviously too deep spoilers or any spoilers at all, but the movie starts off, a father, Mads Mikkelsen, he's in the Danish military, and he's a squad leader. So
All right.
you know he's got some rank. You know,
Is this? I'm sorry if I missed it. Is this modern times or is this set in a different time? I'm sorry. Did I miss that part?
modern.
It is modern times. Okay, go.
Yeah.
Okay, so squad leader, go. Gotcha.
Makes a phone call to his family, and he says, "Hey, I'm not coming home." So you know the daughter and the mother, they're devastated, and they're just like, "Hey, I'm let's just take a day out." So when they get on the train, there's an accident on the train, and the mother dies. Like actually, the mother and about a couple hundred other people die on the train. And the next 11, my wife just told me it was 11 people who died on the train in the film.
Okay.
So big tragedy, and now you think, okay, well now Mads Mikkelsen is coming home now. You know, he has to come home. And when I tell you, so this movie starts off dramatic, but it dives into the action dark humor realm with some of the supporting characters that are in it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it's a awesome mix. We have a hacker. We have the guy who was on the train who gave the seat to the wife who died.
Okay.
The daughter who's grieving, and then you find out that this wasn't an accident at all. That it was a
Okay.
terrorist attack to take out a guy who was going to what do you say when you're in court? Testify. He was going
Oh
to
boy.
testify, and they killed him, and they ended up to make it look like an accident. So you know, no spoilers, but the movie gets into a twist when you meet this Ukrainian character who completely just thickens the plot even more, which then serves into another 45 minutes of action, death,
Okay.
vengeance, and I mean,
Well, now you're speaking my language.
yeah, and it is
What-
violent.
What streaming location is this on?
Was that Hulu? Hulu.
This is on Hulu. And the
This
name of it again?
Riders of Justice.
Riders of Justice. Okay.
Yeah. It was one of the best films I've ever seen lately. Like honestly.
What would you give it on the 10-inch scale?
So I first gave it an 8.5 at first.
Okay.
At first.
Mm-hmm.
But all these things that I mentioned, there's one thing that I didn't mention is that there is an overlying theme of mental health in this movie. And this is
Okay.
mixed in with all the dark humor, the action, the gore, the violence. Like the mental health aspect is like it's thrown in there to let you know, like, hey,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you still need help.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, absolutely.
you know, and they make it so subtle. It was written so good. It when you feel like something when you're brought down, there's still like a comical relief that happens like shortly after.
Okay.
And you know, there's another theme of a father and a daughter grieving of a wife lost and not knowing how to deal with that too. So the movie is getting a 9.5.
Okay. Okay.
It's getting a
All right.
9.5.
I
But
can dig it, dude. I can
Yep.
dig it.
that was my week. I'm looking forward to actually the rest of the week. I don't know what's going on, but I know that it's going to be a good week. So,
Oh, there you go. Freaking another
and
168.
yeah, and to you, Squilini.
You know, this week was more for me. It was kind of more relaxing after work. Work was a little bit, you know, on the fucking overworked and underpaid side of things. Because
Sounds like salary.
well, we one of our more senior techs, my buddy that actually lives in KC, also from work. He this was his first week at his new job, so he's no longer with us. So we went from already being understaffed to even more understaffed, especially with one of our more senior guys leaving. That kind of takes a bigger hit.
It's like when that like badass, like the badass platoon sergeant or squad leader, like has to fucking PCS, and like the person that replaces them, they might still be good, but it ain't them. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So, I mean, we're still waiting to figure out. So with him leaving, when he put in his notice, the company opened 2 positions, one that would backfill his slot, and then another that's going to be more like technical writing, dealing with process writing and stuff like that to take some of that workload off of our senior team. Because right now, all of our senior team, we do regular IT work, and then we have to write fucking process documentation and technical documentation. But that I've been interviewing for a service desk manager position at work. Had the initial interview Thursday, and it was supposed to be a 30-minute interview. It was only 20 minutes, and at the end of 20 minutes, I was offered the second round, which is this week on Wednesday morning. So,
okay, all right,
fingers crossed.
You can do it. You can do it, Joe. You can do it.
This is more me trying to get to leadership roles that I've had in the IT field, and then also I feel like already having that leadership from the military plus prior experience in management roles within IT, that kind of gives me a leg up on the situation.
Little bit of an edge, at least, hopefully.
I mean, they opened 2 slots, 2 of us that are internal that applied for it. Both of us are prior service. Both of us were NCOs. Both of us have had management jobs in the IT industry. So, and both of us work real well together. So we're kind of like, hopefully they said they're going to lean towards trying to hire internal, but they took external candidates also.
Sure.
So we're hoping at least they hire one internal. And if they do, it's one of the 2 of us, because we have
the experience
to do it. And we already know what all the issues are and what needs to be fixed. So that's going to help out drastically versus bringing 2 external people in and potentially back in the same fucking rigmarole we've been in for 2.5 years now of they hire somebody externally for this position, and then 3 to 4 months later they leave.
Right.
So going through that, in the evenings, just really sat down and kind of dug in on research and trying to figure out a new way for my brand and my streams and content to kind of put a little more diversity into things.
I'm curious to see, like, what the next step. I like the saga of you and your job, dude. Like, has been like, it's been epic. It has been epic. You poor Gilgamesh bastard, dude. You know what I mean? Like, you're just like going fucking through it. You're like fucking Achilles, fucking Siege and Troy or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's like how many, like, whose fucking dick do you got to suck to just like tell leadership to fucking put the right people in the right spots, and like, shit wouldn't be fucking that hard.
Well, and that's kind of the thing, because I hadn't really talked about it, and fuck it. Nobody at work knows I do this podcast.
You're not violating OPSEC or PERSEC by fucking saying.
But
you've never once said who you work for ever here.
Yeah. Exactly. So the thing is, like, with my employer. So this last time when our manager quit, which was the day that I was fucking moving from my old apartment into the townhome I'm in now, and I'm actually about to fucking yell at the fiance because I think she turned the fucking heat on. Now my office is turning into a sauna.
It's cold out here at the East Coast, man.
I was gonna say it got a little chilly. It got a little chilly the last couple of days overnight. Not so much during the day, but overnight.
Yeah.
Was it yesterday?
Oh yeah.
Friday was the first sweater day here. It was literally like Friday was the first sweater day here in Kansas City.
Yesterday for us.
Yeah.
But after he put in his resignation, and he'd only been there for 3 months, our CEO and the head of our HR department decided, before opening the position for service desk manager to refill that slot, they did one-on-one meetings with everybody within the service desk to get our thoughts, our opinions, how we feel things could be fixed, what we feel needs to be changed. And that's what came about them saying, hey, we're opening 2 service desk manager slots this time instead of just 1. And we're really wanting internal people.
Well, and then because then you've got a battle buddy to help out if you're having an issue. B, for
Yeah.
both people, you've got a little competition now. Like who's getting, you can actually like, you like pull your weight and let's see who's got the freaking the better 2 mile time, right?
Exactly. So, and that's the thing, like they actually decided this time, because we've been through so much when it comes to the management position for our team, that, hey, maybe we need to listen to the people that have been here for 2.5, 3 years since the company formed in 2020. Literally everybody on the service desk has been there since day one. The only position that's been constant in and out is the manager position. So this time they said, let's listen to the fucking people instead of just hire somebody and hope we get somebody that's a good fit.
Right.
So I'm hoping this time around, I'm not going to be pissed or upset if I don't get the job. I threw my hat in the ring. I'm doing what I can to try to, help the team and work through that situation. But there's that. I'm working through, I'm also trying to rebuild my brand with Tech Guy Gaming, get that kind of back on track, because, before early this year, late last year, numbers were good, content was going great. And then I had a bunch of shit because of work where I had to step away for a bit. There just was a lot of shit going on. Now I'm trying to rebuild that, because now that they moved me to salary and my employment contract straight up says I'm only contracted to work 37 and a half hours a week, they're no longer getting an extra hour out of me, because
if otherwise other things would have to come with it, right? Like, so.
And because
of
salary, they made me exempt, meaning I don't get overtime anymore. I don't work for free. I work to live. I don't live to work. So I'm trying to refocus on content in the evenings and whenever I can get into the office, even on a weekend. Yesterday was a relaxing day. Fired up the smoker, did a pork shoulder, got up at fucking 5 o'clock in the morning, cold as shit outside, standing out there in fucking sweatpants and a damn hoodie. Got that going, fucking just relaxed yesterday. Neighbors and everybody came over. We, had a little cookout.
Oh yeah.
And surprisingly, I didn't drink too much.
How was that pork butt?
It was,
I happened to like scroll past your post on Facebook last night. It looked pretty good.
So that was about 3 hours in that picture that I posted on Facebook. By the time it came off, everybody was so hungry, I didn't have time to grab another photo to
You're good.
Go in and add in the comments.
You're good.
It was actually, I'd say, so out of the last several that I've done, I kind of, again, because of stress from other situations, I kind of rushed the last few I did. They didn't come out the way I want them to, the way they normally do. This one, everybody was like, you're back where you were, where you need to be with it. You kind of actually stepped back and took your time this go round. It turned out good. I've got a shit ton left over, so I've got fucking lunches and dinners for the next couple days.
All right. Fucking A.
But yeah, no, I mean, outside of that, that's my week right there in a nutshell.
Oh yeah. Right. Well, let's get Ahsoka out of the way real quick, because it finally finished.
Okay.
Good old Space Aladdin.
Yeah, good old Space Aladdin. And I mean, I think it ended pretty good. It ended the way it was supposed to. It wasn't one of those things where I had to make my peace with, It was enjoyable. It was action packed, lightsaber duels, unfinished storylines, just what you expect from Star Wars. But the biggest takeaway from all this is that, and I know Squilini is going to say it too, is that we barely got any Ray Stevenson in this final episode, and we're not going to see any more of him unless they have extra footage that they filmed with him. But
yeah, what I want to, what I'm hoping, and because the show was good. It had some lackluster moments. It had some really amazing moments.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we eventually get, because the way it ended, Ezra makes it back to the main galaxy and he's back with Hera and all of them, but Ahsoka and Sabine are stuck now in this galaxy that Thrawn and Ezra were originally stuck in. Thrawn's back in the main part of the galaxy.
Yeah, it's turning into shit over in the main in the main side.
So I'm expecting there's going to be another season of Ahsoka, or they're going to do 2 spin-off shows. One that's going to be following Thrawn trying to take over the fucking galaxy again, and one following Ezra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see
if they do anything, what I hope they do, and this is just wishful thinking because it's Disney and all that jazz, is I hope they just, instead of doing a second Ahsoka season or 2 spin-off shows, I hope they just do Rebels season 6 in live action.
They should have just called it Rebels season 5.
This is literally live action season 5 of fucking Star Wars Rebels.
It was really Rebels. It wasn't Ahsoka. It was Ahsoka maybe the first couple episodes, but once you added, Hera, Chopper, you got the whole. It's like bringing the
Sabine. Literally, everybody was the whole crew from fucking Rebels was back together. This was Rebels. That's because even Ahsoka was in fucking Rebels. So it's like, yeah, we're gonna call it Ahsoka, and that's the main focus. But kind of like the Book of Boba Fett, which actually just turned into Mandalorian season 2.5.
Yeah,
it's one of those things like. They had good intentions with what they named it. However, for those of us that are diehard Star Wars fans and have watched all the animated shit, all the extended universe crap, this wasn't Ahsoka.
It was Rebels.
It was Rebels.
It was probably the best Star Wars that we've gotten in a long time.
I still say Mandalorian beats it out.
I'm curious to see how the next season of Mandalorian, because that's for me, that's probably gonna decide if I stick around fucking dicking off with Star Wars or
So for me, I know a lot of people didn't like this last season of Mandalorian, but for me, to me it was my favorite. It was my favorite season.
The thing that I've liked with Mandalorian so far is they've really shown, they've really explored a lot of characters within the Star Wars universe even further, or they've brought characters that we haven't seen in live action into live action to then do these other spin-off shows that they've done. Because end of season 1, Skywalker shows up and kicks the ever-loving shit out of people.
Right.
And then we've got Luke again. And this is that, these shows are that in between from after Luke, Leia, and Han take down fucking the Empire.
You're still young and in your 20s.
And before we get emo fucking Vader with Kylo Ren and fucking Mary Sue fucking Skywalker.
It's funny because I have Rey's lightsaber right here.
Well, and the thing is, with the last 3 movies, they could have gone so many different routes because of the books and the way the extended universe is on Star Wars. Because Ben Solo is actually in the extended universe. Ben Solo is a character. He is Luke, Han, and Leia's son.
Right.
But he doesn't go fucking full bore fucking evil.
Right.
He trains at the Jedi Temple that Luke makes. Luke in the extended universe rebuilds the Jedi fucking Order, has a wife, he has his own kids, and then he trains Han and Leia's kids and is rebuilding the Jedi Order. And They just were like, well, we're going to take some aspects of that, but we're going to fuck everything up.
I watched the first one of the new trilogy. I saw parts of the second on YouTube, and I didn't even bother with I couldn't even tell you what happened in the third one. Like, literally no clue.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just going to put it this way.
Watching.
The last 3 movies was just fucking episodes 4, 5, and 6 all over again with different characters.
In essence, and that's the gist I got, really. And then also some of the
poetry. So
some of the plot points killed me too, because it was like when that lady jumps to hyperspace to to destroy the ship in front of her. It's like, why didn't they do that to the Death Star? Like, we're in a futuristic type of as far as like technology in a galaxy far, far away, and you guys don't have like suicide drones. You know what I mean? Like nobody came up with
like
that
hyperspace suicide drones.
That's
where
what I'm saying,
you
bro.
just drive a drone in front of something, throw it into hyperspace to blast a whole square through the fucking.
Yeah, because in theory, like a shield, like the Death Star
Space
shield,
hunter killer drones.
Yeah, like the Death Star shield in Return of the Jedi would not have held up to a hyperspace jump. The way that they made it look in that second part of the new trilogy. I was like, if they could have done this the whole time, why didn't they do this like 20 years ago during the rebellion?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there.
And that's that's the big thing. Like and that's one of the disappointing things, like with what they've announced, what they have planned for Star Wars. Like Daisy Ridley's getting another movie as Rey, but now she's rebuilding the Jedi Order. And it's like, no.
And this is nothing against Daisy Ridley either. Like we love you, young lady. Like, and we think you're a fantastic actress. Okay,
it's the writers. We know
it's the writers. It's the fucking writers.
Disney has writing the fucking scripts.
They're just they're producing a lot of trash storylines, basically. Like, which I do think.
I say Michael Bay needs to direct the next Star Wars movie.
He might as fucking well do. Like, I was gonna say that's kind of why I liked The Mandalorian. I got sucked into The Mandalorian because it was so different. It wasn't it wasn't another retelling of Star Wars. You know what I mean?
Literally, like, I would say the best thing Disney can do is continue to have Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni man the helms of directing the fucking Star Wars shit, because they have done a fantastic job with with these live action shows they've been doing. There's been some things where it's questionable, like Book of Boba Fett really should have been fucking Mandalorian season 2.5.
Right.
Because, there was the beginning of the show, kind of the first 2 episodes, highly focused on Boba Fett, which great. I loved Boba Fett as a character. I love seeing more about him. And then they started going down the path of, Mando's back, so let's focus on him. Because if it wasn't for Mandalorian, the Star Wars franchise would have died. That show really brought it back.
I was going to say, I haven't really watched much of anything, other than The Mandalorian, because I remember
Obi-Wan was good.
I watched Andor. And I got through Andor, but we kind of had to slog through it. And then I never even bothered with Obi-Wan. Like, I'm just like, I'm kind of played out on Star Wars right now, because they just keep going these places where I'm like, So
I mean, what I liked with Obi-Wan was more kind of, it answered a lot of unanswered questions of that time between Order 66 happening and Vader coming to full power and Luke doing what Luke did.
Sure.
So, and it kind of started down that path, and that was nice to see that all played out. Like how Obi-Wan really kind of became a hermit, got depressed, lost his attunement, his mojo, his way. Lost his mojo in a sense, kind of stepped away from the Force because he was so pissed off and angry and annoyed with how he wasn't able to stop Anakin fully. And it was good. It answered some questions. it still left some unanswered questions, but now it's kind of like those unanswered questions are kind of answered with 4, 5, and 6. And we got to see fucking Ewan McGregor fight fucking Vader. So
there you go. There you go.
Right. That's right.
All right.
What else we got? I got a couple things if you got nothing.
Sure. Let's have it, John.
So I actually found, let me write, so I looked up this thing. It's called the IVAS goggles. Have you heard of them?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
So they are I want to make sure I get this.
Correct.
Yes, the acronym. The Integrated Visual Augmentation System. It was made by Microsoft, and just this past August. So what? I'm going to pull up a picture of it right here, so you could have an idea of what we're talking about here. Look at these bad boys.
Oh, okay. Is that they're doing some tryouts with them, right? Is that what you're okay?
So
I did see a little blurb on it, but go ahead, because I don't remember very much of it. I read part of half of an article.
Yeah, so I found the video from 2 years ago when they did IVAS 2.5 and then the original IVAS, which was just in development. Really interesting stuff and how it can possibly help, combat situations. This is probably one of the coolest and probably one of the most advanced things I've ever seen the military have. In my experience, I've never, I don't know anything about how a missile works. So,
well, we when I was in the infantry, we had nods, and then depending on what what the company had in stock or whatever, or maybe even what your position was, some nods were just monocular, like just one eye, and some were two. Some were two. I had some at one point that you could see both thermal and white hot and black hot. So you could mess with it and toggle it to where, you'll see white and black hot with thermal imaging.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So you can tell like, oh, that's a bush, but that's, there's a heat signature coming from that.
Yep, exactly.
See a little bit better. Cause those were actually like those, well, anyways, I don't want to get.
Well, what would you prefer? The double or the single?
That's a hard question to answer. Depending on the situation, depending on terrain, like that is literally like there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, but I can see some devices working better in some areas than others, and that's really what it comes down to. Especially go ahead.
Yeah, so the IVAS is supposed to help with all that too. So it's supposed to integrate all that stuff, including being able to see through smoke screens.
Right.
Which is and your area, so I'm reading through the article. This is going to give you the capabilities of assessing the situation before you dismount from your Humvee and shit too.
Right. I do remember, a lot of times nods with nods, they get bulky. They're heavy.
Yeah.
And they're attached to your fucking, your goddamn helmet. So it gets heavy on the neck muscles. Let me put it this way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Look at this picture right here.
That doesn't look too terribly bad, but that's about what we had. I like that battery pack device on the backside. That's kind of like what we would have. Mm-hmm. And then there would be, sometimes there'd be nods, the nod, depending on what type of nods. But I wonder how much, does it say anywhere like how much that system weighs?
Mm-mm.
I could not find how much it weighs either. That was the one thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. That was the first thought I had in my head was like,
I mean,
when you attach all that shit to your skull, dude, it adds weight. Ounces equal pounds and pounds equal pain.
I will say it's interesting just looking at it, and it's interesting seeing the Army kind of start testing using augmented reality and these types of technologies for combat situations. And reading through this, It's giving you navigational systems through a heads-up display right there in front of you. So no more, extra shit to have to look at for like maps and stuff.
Maybe.
It's giving you your night vision, your IR.
Yeah, I think it is interesting to see, and then when we see conflicts like with Ukraine versus Russia right now, a straight up peer on peer fight. The battlefield is constantly shifting. You know what I mean? Like there's ebb and flow on both sides. You know what I mean? You might need, this is like what they would call like a force multiplier. You're taking one person with a heads up display and you're giving them the ability to, like you guys said, assess the battlefield around them.
Yeah.
Maybe before, they go into a fucking danger area. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like, that's really the important part, is keeping as many people alive for as long as possible. Because in war, everybody's freaking timeline eventually runs up to zero. You know what I mean? So.
And now I do want to kind of pick your brains about this just for a couple minutes real quick. So we've played multiple games that have technology like this that they have in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So from playing some of these games, do you think that there is some familiarity and some inspiration that they can use to help build this?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that we've seen life imitate art and art imitate life many times over with gaming and even the military. Fucking submarines use fucking like functionally like a PlayStation controller now to control their periscopes, because they found that it was like 10,000 times cheaper and easier to fucking teach sailors to use a goddamn video game remote to operate the fucking periscope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're cheaper to build, cheaper to fucking maintain, fucking easier to train on. You know what I mean? It's shit like that. And so like you talk about having like a heads up display. I'm not sure if we're talking like real time, I'd have to fucking run some sticks lanes with that shit to see if it, to see how I felt with it. I don't know. I'd be curious to see what some of the testing results are. They usually test equipment like this in places like JRTC, different shoot houses and at different bases.
Yeah.
Around the country, a lot, sometimes at National Guard bases, NTC. That's where a lot of this stuff gets tested and fielded. Some of it makes it to the production line, some of it doesn't. So I would be interested to see what the tallies were on the goods, the bads. How much does I want to know how much it fucking weighs? Like, that's my first fucking thought in my head was like, how much does it weigh?
I actually have something super very interesting that I just found here, and it's inventions that were inspired, 10 real world technologies inspired by video games.
I believe it.
And I have 10 right here. Number 10 is a med pack.
Okay.
It says anyone who's ever played first person shooters. This is from listverse.com also. Anyone who's ever played a first person shooter knows that when you're injured, you'll need a med pack. So I think that's pretty interesting.
3.4 pounds.
3.4 pounds. That's a lot of weight.
It's pretty well. Consider your helmet weighs 7, so that's like you're only going up by about 50%. So 10 pounds on your head, like it's a little heavy, but that's maybe.
Well, the thing is, we also got to look at
build up your traps. You're gonna build up your traps real fucking quick, dude. Like
you ain't gonna get taped for that anytime soon.
No, fuck no.
I mean. We also have to look at these are just prototypes at this point.
Yeah.
And they're still going through production, going through development. This is the third iteration of the IVAS system. So they've had 1.0 already tested. 1.1's already been tested. Now they're on 1.2. So, and looking through the specs, it's gotten significantly lighter with each iteration. The first iteration was fucking 10 pounds.
It looked like a MetaQuest prototype,
right?
But the other inventions we have here also is number 9 is an auto stim. Number 8, I did not know that came from video games. I thought that was already made. Number 8, it says programmable grenades that were inspired from Gears of War.
Dope.
The next one is gimmicky ammunition that the U.S. Marines now use. Heads-up displays, ammo counters, vehicle armor. But I think vehicle armor has always been a thing.
Yeah, that's
Power ups. I have to read this. Hang on, because I'm curious about power ups.
Yeah, what is that? What exactly does that mean?
Anyone who's played Bioshock is familiar with plasmids, those awesome power ups that give you psychokinesis or telekinesis or anything.
So amphetamines. They're talking about amphetamines.
Yeah, it says we've already heard about drugs like Adderall and Ritalin used to supposedly enhance concentration, but the newest drug that everyone's talking about is modafinil.
Oh boy.
DD214 Network does not condone the use of drugs,
especially not when you're a fucking soldier, dude. Like, come on now, come on now.
It says originally designed to assist people with narcolepsy who are working night shifts. Its use has been appropriated by people looking to get a leg up on their competition. Supposedly, it enables people to stay awake for 40 hours, and it's been studied by the U.S. Air Force as an effective drug for fighter pilots who routinely need to stay airborne and alert for long stretches of time.
That sounds horrific.
You know what else keeps me up for 40 hours? 4 20-ounce Red Bulls.
Oh my fucking God, Joe.
Do you know what'll keep me up right now? Frenchie? Can you get me a Wild Bill?
You know keeps me up every day? Hate and fucking anger.
Okay. Number 3. Now this is interesting. Controlling a character. We don't need to get into the theories about that one. And number 1 is extra lives.
What
the fuck?
It says one Russian billionaire has unveiled plans to create a fully holographic body by the year 2045, and you can sign up to follow his progress. So let's.
John's about to sign up to follow his progress.
Yeah. Let's
damn it.
Sign up. Let's sign up. Is there a fucking like sign up fee? I don't see one. But yeah, man. I mean, it's very interesting how some of this, like game tech, like what's one game tech that you can think of that you remember?
I do remember, like I know, like having like Battlefield med packs is kind of like it's not new, but it's new-ish. Like versus like there'd be a medic back in the day that would have all the shit, right? Yeah. Now everyone has medical equipment on their persons, like in combat, in general. Yeah. Okay, like we have an IFAK, and it goes on our kit.
Yes, we do.
And that's fucking universal. If you're in kit, you have an IFAK, and
it looks cool to wear too. I'm just saying.
Well, and that one is for war. It's relatively a newer concept to have everybody have medical equipment. That is a newer concept. So I like that one because I thought about it for a second. I was like, well, med packs have been around, and then I was like, wait a minute, not everybody carried med packs though. Like, so that one does make sense a little bit. So,
but what about you, Squilini? Any game tech that you could think of that? And this is not an affiliation. I'm just saying that Wild Bill's is the best soda on earth.
Okay.
Get the orange cream. Get your cup.
Shit, video game tech that I'd like to see fucking. I don't know. I guess like more enhanced, like cybernetic prosthetics, like, because obviously over the last 10 years or so, they've gotten real good with like prosthetics that can be given to, like, say, a soldier that loses their arm or their leg, where it's actually wired into their nervous system so they can control movement of their fingers and stuff like that and still use it fully as if it was still their regular arm. However, there's a lot of advancements and improvements that could be made on that. And then, a form of like fake skin to where you can grow skin to put over those prosthetics so it looks like they're regular.
That's some fucking Terminator shit right there. That's some fucking Terminator shit right there.
I mean, we've already got Skynet thanks to Musk.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like it's coming, right? It's coming.
I saw a video about that earlier too, which is funny. Before we get to our next thing, I saw it was like the whole concept of Terminator is how like a company made an AI. That AI spread. They told the spread to stop spreading, and they were just like, "Oh, you're telling us to kill ourselves. Now you must die. And that's Terminator.
It's going to happen soon.
Just
Chat
saying.
GBT, fucking Mid-Journey. It's going to all take over the world.
Yeah. Well, I for one welcome our robot overlords. Just saying.
I'm probably going to be in the Mid-Journey magazine soon. I'm just saying. But anyways,
John's part of the reason why our robot overlords are going to take over at some point.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Basically.
And guess who? And guess who's going to be a slave? And guess who isn't?
Well, not me.
Exactly.
I've been the need of nobody.
So the next thing we have Barracks Housing.
Oh God.
Army plans boost in barracks spending as military grapples with squalid living conditions. The Army is crafting a new plan to improve barracks following mold and health issues, as well as a damning report from a government watchdog last month that found squalid base housing across the services, including bad plumbing, groundwater, and insect infestations. The plan, which has not been yet approved by Army Secretary Christine Wormuth, aims to pump $4 billion into barracks reconstruction and renovations, and fund barracks sustainment to 100% of what's authorized by Congress, according to an internal copy reviewed by military.com. On average, in recent years, the Army has funded barracks sustainment at only 85% of what's authorized, using the rest of the money for unrelated projects. I just want to say also that I'm not surprised about this, because we did run a report about this happening somewhere in one of the West Coast bases.
Yeah.
But I also want to say that I don't know how it is now. They probably improved it since 2013. But during my time in Fort Benning, we actually had to move out of a house because there was a black mold infestation.
That was still going. That was definitely still going on up through current.
Yeah.
Like my opinion is straight up this: privatized housing needs to end on military bases. Period. There should be no privatized housing at all. Okay, so we're talking about soldiers who are married. Okay, and then for the barracks, there is just no fucking excuse for how squalid some of the conditions are at different posts around the country, depending on which barrack you might unfortunately get stuck in. Okay, if barracks have to be, if the conditions inside are such that people can't live in them, they need to be fucking flattened and rebuilt. I mean, straight up like that. Like that is it.
Yeah.
Like there's no excuse to be, exposing soldiers to shit like black mold, dirty fucking water. You know what I mean? Like they're already living very rough in general, especially with the fucking op tempo that occurs in today's modern military. They're already fucking running ragged. Okay, you should have, at the bare minimum, you should have a decent place to return to when your duty day is over. You know what I mean? Like there is no fucking excuse for this shit. Like I saw it when I was a private. I saw it when I was an NCO. I saw it when I was an instructor at the academy. Like that, there's a reason. Once I was married, when I was in the service, I started, I was a single soldier when I got in. Once I was married, I never lived on post ever again. Like, and people would look at me sideways, like, you're driving 40 minutes to Pueblo from fucking Fort Carson every day and back and blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I am. Like, cause I'm not going to live on post. Like it's not like the convenience of living close to the company or whatever actually becomes an inconvenience when you have to get moved because the goddamn sewer line backed up. You know what I mean? Like fucking pass, dude. If that shit happens off post, that's on your fucking landlord. You know what I mean? And like, yeah. So yeah, just no excuses. No, like get your shit together, Army. Get your fucking shit together, Army. All of you guys, all branches.
That's that.
Get your shit together.
It is very interesting because, I remember my wife was pregnant with my daughter, and they came in, and I have to say it because this was the carelessness that was being used at that time. They would spray bleach on the walls. Nice, Jay. Nice. I never took you for a white wine kind of guy.
We wanted it. We went and played bingo downtown to support the thing that Nikki.
You wanted them bingo? My wife has been playing bingo for the last 6 days.
Yeah, we were at like a fundraiser, and it was a bingo night, and there was like a drag queen was the bingo announcer. You know what I mean? So it was a little risque as far as like some of the jokes or whatever, but everybody had a good time, and we won once, and we won. I took the bottle of wine. Surprise.
Fucking
Yeah.
alcoholic.
All right.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead, John.
What was I talking about?
The God damn it. The fucking
Spraying of the bleach.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, so they were spraying the bleach onto the black mold, and that was that.
Yeah, and then that's not a end all be all for black. Like black mold will still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's
just no fucking excuse. You wonder why motherfuckers come out of the fucking army or the fucking Air Force or the goddamn Navy or Marines, Coasties, whatever. They come out of the service and like they're like when they're in the service, they're these big strapping, fucking boot stomping fucking warriors. And like 5 years later, they're like withered and fucking dying and can barely make it up the fucking stairs, without fucking having a fucking heart attack. It's because we're like breathing black fucking mold.
I feel personally attacked.
I'm just shut up, Joe. Are you drinking a fucking Red Bull, dude? God damn, it's gonna be hard to have a fucking podcast if you're not with us, Joe. Like I need you here, bro. Like you're gonna have a heart attack.
I've only had one today. This is just one.
You got to get yourself a Wild Bills, bro.
When
just one.
When I go to group therapy, they always tell us we got to put the mask on ourselves first before we help other people. And it's like my mask might not be all the way on right now, okay? But like, God damn it, like I need you guys to not die on me, all right? Like, cause like
I'm not going to.
I worry about you, Joe. I worry about you. Okay, I worry about my Nikki. I worry about my daughters.
I got actually, you guys want to talk about football?
As I start drinking again, right? Like
as you're drinking wine straight out of the fucking
bottle.
You're like anti-class over there right now, like just
it's
not just out of the bottle. It's one of those bottles of wine where it didn't even have a fucking cork.
Oh yeah, it's a fucking twist. This is a twist off, dude. Like it's like this is probably like an $8 bottle of wine. You know what I mean? Like this is fucking hobo hooch right now. This is hobo hooch. Okay, like fucking.
All right, you guys want to talk about football now?
Yeah, please. Yes, let's do.
This guy just said, "Sir Kai Senate here." You are not Kai Senate, man.
Wait, what?
This guy, Alex ABCD. He said, "Sir Kai Senate here." You are not. The
Jay
guy
doesn't know who that is.
Yeah, no.
I don't know.
Dude, I don't. Who the hell are you talking about, Alex ABCD?
Anyways,
your last name EFG. Well, anyway, we're going to talk about some football right now. Let's talk about some football.
Let's. By the way, how did your predictions go last week, Joe? Freaking, we had a couple of close games actually. Freaking. Yeah. So how did your predictions go last week for you? I'm looking at last week's scores right now. We totally called the fucking Niners beating up on the Cardinals. We called that shit all day. Oh. Poor fucking Crazy Ace, dude. Did you see the fucking Broncos beat the Bears?
Yeah.
Did you see? Like, dude, what did you think about when you saw that shit?
Going back to last week, real quick here, just pulling up the scores. I mean, the thing is, yeah, poor Crazy Ace in that situation. However, it was a fucking close game.
It was, and I was not. I would have picked the Bears all day long in that game. I would probably pick them again if the same game was played this week. And they really they didn't really show up, and Denver kind of did for the first time all season. Like all season.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's just like let's see, game that I wasn't expecting anything really insane to come out of. Texans Steelers.
I was just looking at that. That was going to be the one I was just about. Yeah, that. The fuck? What the actual
30-6, and the Texans won.
Yeah.
So it's. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really expect anything out of that. I didn't expect as big of a fucking win with the Cowboys-Patriots game.
Yeah, the Cowboys put it to them. They really did take it to them. They were kind of freaking showing
35 fucking point lead.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was like KC the previous week, except that's not what happened with KC last week, was it? Like we had a little fucking nail biter there. Freaking, we barely eked out a win against the Jets. So
Yep.
see if we do a little bit better this week.
Niners beat the Cardinals. I was expecting.
Yeah, we called that on the podcast last week. We called that one.
Seahawks beat Giants. Of course, called that one because it's the fucking Giants, and this year they've been shit.
Chargers beat the Raiders, but fuck the Raiders, so we're good on that one. You know.
Eagles won against the Commanders by 3 points. That was surprising because it's fucking the Commanders.
Yep.
Let's see here. What else was?
What are you looking at this week?
So this week, I'm really looking at the. Let's see. Out of the games this week. Well, first off, congrats to the fucking Bears.
Are you being facetious?
No, I mean.
Oh, because for like stomping the Commanders, you mean?
Yeah. And that's just because the Commanders are, my team's biggest fucking rivals, technically. It's Commanders and Eagles are our rivals on my side. So, the fucking Commanders got beat by the Bears 40-20. Right now there's 30 seconds left in the Jaguar-Bills game, and it's 25-20. So there's only a 5-point lead in that game.
Yep. And there's a minute left, and it looks like the Jags have the ball, but it's 4th and 6 right now. So they're coming up on a pretty important freaking punt here, probably, if they have to punt.
4th and 6 at the 45. So they'll at least, as long as their kicker can kick, they're in field goal range.
Okay. Let's see if now it's updated. They're down to 30 seconds. Oh, because the Bills have no timeouts. The Bills have no timeouts.
Jags only have one. But outside of that, let's see, this week, I'm actually keeping an eye on the Texans now.
That was an interesting, seeing them kind of like just really take it to the Steelers. Because now this week, the Steelers are playing the Ravens, and both of those teams have had bad games already this year.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see like when that game starts, like how those two play with each other today.
I'm curious to see how bad the fucking Dolphins beat the Giants.
Okay, yeah, like
my money's on the Dolphins this year.
Everybody's beating up on the Jets right now, or the Giants.
On the Giants, yeah.
Everybody's beating up on the Giants right now. So
Lions, they're gonna beat the Panthers.
Okay, I could see that.
I'm giving it to Detroit in that situation.
Eagles, Rams. What do you got on that one?
Oh.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, right?
4-0
How'd the Rams do last week?
So, I mean, we're looking at 4-0 and 2-2. So, right now the Eagles are undefeated.
The Rams beat the Colts last week, but they lost to the Bengals the week before. So the Rams got a couple of quality losses to go with their wins. So
I really hope the fucking Rams take it, but I don't know. The Eagles are a fucking team to watch this year.
Oh yeah, they're them and the fucking 49ers, and now I'm gonna throw it out there since I know you're trying to be like the humble fan, dude. People are fucking sleeping on the Cowboys right now.
Well, I was about to get to that game.
People are sleeping on the Cowboys right now, straight up.
Oh yeah. No, like everybody's just trying to find reasons to hate on the Cowboys, even though they are a team to watch.
Yeah, they're definitely keeping around the Cowboys.
Because we've been rebuilding the last couple seasons, getting our team back up to snuff. And even during our rebuild phase, we've been making it to the fucking playoffs.
Yep. And that is a clear indicator of a team that is like ready for fucking more. Ready for fucking more.
2 seasons ago, we made it to the first round, got knocked out by the 49ers. Last year, we made it to the second round, got knocked out by the 49ers. So, today's game.
Who are they playing today?
The 49ers.
Oh, boy.
But see, again, today's game, this is our first time playing the 49ers since they knocked us out of the playoffs.
All right, then. All right, then.
So this is really a game to watch because this season so far, Dallas has shown they have the defense to fucking hold back the best offense around. We've got a good defense. The play calling's good. McCarthy still needs to learn how to cover his fucking mouth. You're gonna hear that every week until he starts doing it.
Nope, I agree. I agree 100% with your assessment, sir. Like, and good news for football fans. That is tonight's Sunday night football game. So that is actually the Sunday night football game tonight. So tune in tonight to see how Joe's Cowboys play against the 49ers.
So, I'm really interested to see how we do in that game. Yesterday when we were having our cookout, one of the neighbors was like, "Oh, the Niners are going to fucking blow y'all out of the water, this, that, and the other." And
I don't think so.
That's, we kind of were discussing it a little before we went live and shit. And you were like, people are sleeping on them this year.
They are.
People need to not underestimate them this season.
Yep.
So I can see it going two ways. Cowboys win or Niners win. Either, and of course that's a no-brainer. One of the two teams is going to fucking win. However, I don't see it being a blowout. I see it being a close game. One of those, 38-35 games or like 20-25 games like the fucking Jags.
Sure. And it could possibly it could possibly go either way.
So, there's it's going to go either way.
I would say out of all the games, that is tonight's Sunday night football matchup is the biggest toss up for me. Because I would not, like, you put a gun to my head, I'm not gonna have a good pick for you. I'm basically just gonna flip a coin in my head and pick whatever the coin lands on. You know what I mean? Because that's not. Oh, and it is final from London. The Jaguars have officially beaten the Bills 25-20. So if you had the fucking Bills easily fucking beating the Jaguars this week on your bingo card, you fucking just lost. Sorry.
No, but see, that's the thing. Like but see, that's what I see, like the outcome of the Niners Cowboys game being a close game like that, 20-25, 38-35, some shit like that.
Within a score, basically. Yeah.
Where it's literally going to be within or less than a score.
How do you think the Chiefs are going to do against the Vikings today? Just out of curiosity, as a non-Chiefs fan.
My money's on the Chiefs. My money's on the reigning Super Bowl champs right now. At least in that regards. Let me pull up
the Vikings. So the Vikings are a team that I think, just due to their record right now, people are kind of like sleeping on them. They are much better than their record indicates. They lost to Tampa Bay. They've lost to they lost to somebody else, but it was a good team. And then I think they've won I think they're 2-2, if I'm not mistaken. They're 2-2, or they might even be 1-3.
1-3.
Are they 1-3? But all three of their losses have been close. Like they've been in every single game.
Yeah. So they're lost to. They won against the Panthers last week.
Yep.
21-13. Their Chargers versus Vikings game, it was 28-24. They lost by 4 points. Against the Eagles, it was 34-28.
6 points.
And against the Bucks, it was 20-17. So 3 points.
Yep.
So
they're barely losing.
It's all been within a touchdown.
4. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So that'll be. I'll be interested to see how the Chiefs play. I will be interested. So we'll see how it goes. So yeah, freaking. I don't know. That's about all I've got for football today, though. I don't know about you. That's not. There was like.
I mean, that's really it, because last week we kind of covered the whole spread up and down each side.
Mm-hmm.
Every game so far this season. Now it's just kind of more week to week. Okay, this is what happened last week. This is what we expect to happen this week. Here's what the stats look like.
I honestly, I'm looking forward to probably to the Cowboys Niners game tonight more than the Chiefs game today. Like I love my Chiefs, but I'm actually looking forward to Sunday night football tonight probably more than watching the Chiefs. Like if you can believe that, because I think it's going to be a better game. I really do.
Oh yeah.
So before we get to our final thought, I do have something that's going to take up about 20 minutes of our time.
Okay.
This is actually super important, especially for those who are building teams and want to win something for the VFW of Kansas City.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Jay's listening, aren't you?
Oh, you got my attention.
Jay, would you be willing to come back to play Warzone for the VFW?
Maybe. Yeah.
So, a buddy of mine, and actually two people. So, I first got this from Jay Boxwell, who is a representative of the VFW over here in New Jersey and is
Uh-huh.
constantly in Kansas City as well.
Yeah, the headquarters is here. So yeah.
Yeah. So he goes over there frequently, and every time he goes to Kansas City, I always got to we always talk about the barbecue and where he ate. And actually, I would love to have him on the show. He wrote to me a couple weeks ago about this, and then I just received the message from one of our guests on the show, Doc Shup. More
Okay.
Doc Shup.
More Doc Shup. Yep.
And he said they sent me this awesome opportunity to play for the Kansas City Crew. You could sign, and there's two games, Rocket League and Warzone. We'll get to the bad stuff first. So we'll start off with Rocket League. But there is some things. So you go to kccrew.com/VFW Gaming Leagues.
Okay.
Step one is you choose your game and division. Tuesdays is Rocket League, competitive and social leagues available. So this is every Tuesday up until the tournament. And then every Wednesday is Call of Duty Warzone. All leagues will begin at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern, Wednesdays.
Okay.
Step two, once you get signed up, you have two registration options. You have a full team option. And we'll invite all your teammates to register for your team. Or you get a free agent option, which you don't have a team but would like to get paired up with other veteran teammates.
Okay.
If you sign up for the free agent option, a KC Crew rep will reach out once your team is full and connect with you and your teammates. So how does this work? General league details. These leagues are free to play. And the VFW has graciously covered all player registration fees. Only service members and veterans will be allowed to play in these games. And each league will be a total of 6 weeks. 5 weeks of regular season plus a 6-week tournament for the top teams. So this means every Tuesday or Wednesday you need to show up for each one of your games. All these add up to 90 hours. So the number of games will vary between Rocket League and Call of Duty Warzone, and I'll have more details on that after. Team registration ends on the 20th. You have 12 days to register, and the leagues begin the week of October 22nd. Tuesday leagues begin on the 24th. You will not play Halloween. You will not play on the 22nd. Wednesday leagues begin on October 25th. All leagues are completely online.
Can you watch? Is there a watch option for this?
I believe there is going to be a watch for this. There is going to be a Twitch stream for this. A link to our Discord channel will be emailed to you, and on the schedules for the league, all teams will report to the channel between 6:45 and 7 p.m. Central Time. A Kansas City Crew rep will be in the channel to answer any questions and ensure matchups are played. Let's see. Sorry about that. At 7 p.m., the KC Crew rep in the channel will answer any questions and post the schedule of the matchups. You will break out to your game channel and play your matchups. Once all matchups are complete, one person from the match will report the scores in the game's channel. KC Crew will then record all scores in the schedule. So I have here the 2023 fall season games. We're going to start off with Rocket League. Team registration ends on the 20th. And it is every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central. That's 8 p.m. Eastern. Starts October 24th. The tournament is December 12th, 2023. No games on Halloween and on the 21st. Divisions for Rocket League will be 3v3s mixed social, Platinum 2 and below, and 2v2 mixed competitive, Platinum 3 and above. Gameplay. Each match will consist of 5 total games. Teams will play all 5 matches each night. Don't have a team to sign up with? Sign up for free with the free agent system, and you'll be paired up with a fellow veteran. League monitor and Discord before, during, and after each match to answer questions, facilitate matchups, and record scores and stats. All players will need to enter the Discord channel before the match to check in. One person from each match will take screenshots of each game's results and submit them in their game channel after their matches. And now for Warzone, the team registration also ends on the 20th. That will be every Wednesday at 7 p.m. I don't know what would happen if you don't show up at 7 p.m. I don't know if this is a disqualification on your part or if you lose points. I don't see anything here that says so. Contact kccrew.com for this. But the divisions for the tournament starts December 6th, every Wednesday starting October 25th. No games November 22nd. The divisions are 2v2 quads. Players are here to play for fun. But the 4v4s players are here to play for the win and for fun. Jay, you know what? I just realized if I do end up doing this and you do want to watch, I will stream this.
Okay.
Each match is a 90-hour kill race. League monitor and Discord. All players will need to enter their game channel before the match to check in, and one person from each match will take screenshots of each of the game's results and submit them in their game channel after the match is complete. So there's a lot here. As far as prize, the top 2 teams in each division will qualify for a tournament of champions that will be live streamed at the VFW National Convention in Louisville, Kentucky in 2024.
Cool. That's cool.
And there'll be more information on what the prize will be. Who can play? Veterans who are 18 years and above who can play in the league. All systems are welcome. Where do we pay for our matches? All games are played online, and you will. Where do we pay for our matches? But all games are played online. You will join the Discord channel and then break out to play against your opponents. I think there's a typo there in the question. How can we get in contact with our opponent? All players will report to the Discord channel at so-and-so time, and you'll talk to a KC rep. How do we report scores and forfeits? To report scores or forfeits, report back to the Discord channel. For reporting scores, please add screenshots of the results from the matchup. For forfeits, notify our rep who is running the Discord channel. And, you can continue this, talk to kccrew.com. There's more information. I don't know where I'm going to fall in line with this. I don't know if I will even have a team or if I'm going to go with the free agent status. I know a lot of the guys from the New Jersey Veterans Network are playing. I think this is an exciting opportunity, especially for guys who aren't in the pro circuit, who want to have an opportunity to play for something awesome, for a good opportunity for a great organization. Hey, hell, why not?
Why the hell not?
A bunch of whoas, are in line. So, and again, this is Kansas City Crew, kccrew.com. Just want to say thank you to Doc Shupp and Jay Boxwell for sending that over to me.
Right on.
Yeah, so I mean that's pretty much all I got for the day. It was a good conversational episode. We had a good time.
Absolutely.
And let's see, maybe next week will be more eventful. Maybe someone will fall and break a finger or something. That'd be nice, right?
I hope not. I sure hope not.
Oh, one thing. What Halloween's coming?
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah,
this is going to be Squillini's first Halloween on the podcast.
Second.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to start getting that ready, aren't we? Yeah, we are. Let's start figuring out what we're gonna do for Halloween, and then and then we were discussing earlier, since we had like a football episode last week. I think we all were kind of in agreement that we would probably enjoy, and there would be a lot of fun banter.
I'd have to start watching a professional wrestling again, really, like I used to.
You could just go back to what you used to watch too, and that'll give you enough. That'll give you enough fuel. Yeah, we'll talk about the good old days of professional wrestling.
Well, I mean, I have Peacock streaming service, which has all the WWE shit on it. So
yeah, you'll be fine. There's more content than you'll need.
Because I usually me with professional wrestling nowadays, the times I watch it are the pay-per-views. So SummerSlam, WrestleMania, all that shit. I don't watch the regular syndicated stuff, Raw, SmackDown every week, but I at least follow enough of the storyline so when I watch the pay-per-views, I know what the fuck's going on.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Same
But
here.
yeah, I think that'd be fun for us to talk shop about professional wrestling for an episode, one of these days, maybe sometime soon. That'd be a fun one. You know what I mean? Just to kind
And
of
that'll be an episode that John won't be completely lost about when we're talking sports.
right.
or what baseball or what fucking the World Series is coming soon, so
Yeah.
you're gonna hear a lot from me from that. So
Yeah, me and John will be talking about baseball here in about a week, and yeah, it's happening.
Because it's this is that time of the year. It's that time of the season for baseball.
I like it.
Da-da-da. Da-da-da. Pitch that ball.
Fucking John.
Hit a homer. Oh man, but yeah, hey, I just want to say I mean, it's another week, another penny loss. We're in depth now, guys. We're in depth now. So, I mean, I just want to say for those who are having a hard time, 22 a day is still the number, but we want to bring that down at least a little bit lower, 21, 20, 19, 18. We got to bring it down. The National Suicide Hotline is 1-800-273-8255. 1-800-273-TALK. You can also hit star 988. Guys, there are different ways to cope with your emotions, whether that be music, whether that be working, whether that be walking, beating a punching bag, breaking, but don't hurt yourself. Call somebody, pick up your phone, talk to somebody. After watching Riders of Justice, it was a very emotional movie up and down, and to hear the mental health being so subtle but being so aware, it's important to have these little messages every now and then, and that's why we do it every Sunday, every early afternoon, depending what part of the country or part of the world you're listening or watching from. This shit is not a joke, and we lose too many, and this year alone, I heard someone say, what did they it was very interesting that this is I can't remember the term. I believe Mark Hamill said something about it, but it's like there's too many gone this year, man. Way too many, and it just seems to be a theme that we deal with every day. And yeah, we grow up, people go, but the ones who are going are way too young,
Agreed.
So, guys, thank you so much for coming to the show. We hope to see you in 168 hours.
Absolutely.
Come in with your war drum. Come with your faces painted, because we got, there's going to be some things coming up this week. I have a good feeling something wild is going to happen this weekend. It's going to be in the conversation. So, guys, make sure you follow us, you like us, the whole shebang. You do everything you need to do. Just hit that bell. We know you may not be watching live, but we know you're watching after. So if you're watching this now, make sure you click that bell. We love you. 168. Do your March PT formation. And yeah.
See you next time.
See you next time.